All right, here to continue, we've got candidate ethical principles. Maybe you studied this in your ethical class. Do you guys know any one of these? Do you guys know what's the golden rule?
I've done the quiz, but I don't remember exactly.
The golden rule is...
It is to put yourself in others' shoes.
Yeah, you want to treat to others as you want them to treat you.
Exactly.
Do you see? And then you put yourself in other people's shoes. Universalism.
Wasn't the quiz.
Universalism is that you, from an ethical perspective, you want to take what is acceptable by all the people. You see, what does the universal view look at this perspective? The slippery slope. When you take a small mistake and then followed by a bigger mistake. So that's, when you start to slope. Collective utilitarian principle. That's when you look at the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Yeah. So let's say if you want to judge if this is acceptable or not acceptable, you see how many people will benefit from this. And then, if you do this, 10 people will benefit. If you do that, 200 people will benefit. So the 100 people benefit is better than the 10 people benefit. Do you see? Risk aversion is when you don't want to take any risk. When you want to be very strict. I don't want to take any chances something goes wrong or something unacceptable to happen. Let's say if you make your group where no one can post unless you approve them. That's a very risk aversion type. This way, any problem you eliminate it before. The idea of no free lunch. No free lunch, it says no one will ever give you something free. They want something in return. Do you see? So that's a principle that there's no free lunch. So, do you guys know the corruption? They give you free lunch, but it's really a corruption. Or maybe they give you free lunch because they want something in return. They want to give you a lunch, a part of a business transaction, but it's not really free lunch. They just want your time, maybe. So the idea of no free lunch. The New York Times test. The New York Times tests, are you willing to say what you just did on the newspaper? How many, have you done anything that you don't want it to be on the newspaper?
What do you mean?
For example, let's say there is a post. When you look at the post, will this be on the New York Times? If this is not acceptable in the New York Times, then it should not be acceptable here. Do you see?
So New York Times is a major for that?
It's called just a test. You can say a thorough newspaper test.
It's any news.
So any newspaper. So the idea of if whatever action or behavior or act or a post if it is, how do you know if it's ethical or not ethical? You think about it. If I put it on the newspaper, will it be okay? If yes, then go. If you think it's not acceptable there, then it's not acceptable here.
What he mean, make it public, whether it's a newspaper or not.
Yes, is this action,
I make it in public.
will you do it in public? If you're not going to do it in public, then you're not doing it in private. And then the social contract rule. Social contract says this is the relationship between us, and therefore we need to follow this contract. Do you guys know what's the social contract? So between us, there is a social contract. We all agree to live in the society under these conditions. You see? So therefore, based on this, we start to behave. Are you guys okay with these? Privacy and information rights. You guys know what's privacy? It's the moral right of individuals to be left alone, free from surveillance, interference from other individuals or organizations. Information privacy is the right to be forgotten. Do you have the right to be forgotten?
We don't. Recently, we don't.
For example, let's say that you see something on Facebook, and then people never forget it because it never removed. If you say something on the, if you stand on the street and you see something, people hear you, but after a while they forget you. This is the nature of. But here on Facebook, they never forget you.
Just delete it.
Do you see? Sometimes you delete it, but it's not deleted; it's still there.
Oh, delete it, it's deleted.
Well, there are some websites that will copy everything you say in
It's the
public.
same thing. They copied everything.
And then sometimes, let's say maybe in Twitter they do this more because you see something, a tweet, and then other websites will copy it and they will keep it there, and you can't remove it. If you remove it from your Twitter, it's still there.
So they aren't-
You see, let's say Google, sometimes when they cache websites, they take copies of your website in their database. You delete your website, but it's still in the cache of Google. Certain information should not be collected at all. Individuals should control the use of whatever information is collected about them. Behavioral tracking on the internet, social sites, mobile devices. What do you guys think if every search keyword you put in Google is public for everyone to see?
I wouldn't post anything.
What do you think if Google tomorrow, someone hack into Google, and then people can search your, like WikiLeaks? Do you see? People search on this WikiLeaks. They can find your name, and they find all of the things you searched for in the past 2 years. And they can see everything that you search for. How many people think this is so bad?
Yeah, it is not good.
Do you see? And also they can track your behavior, what websites you went to.
They already do this by the cookies and these things.
Privacy and information rights, major ethical issues related to e-commerce. Under what conditions should we invade the privacy of others? Is there a condition? Are we allowed to invade someone's privacy?
Yeah, as I said, it's a privacy for something. Yes.
Yeah. So if I go to the court and I say this person is a threat, therefore we should invade their privacy.
It's not because they said it's a threat. Because if there is evidence that this person is really a threat for something.
Oh, so there should be a court order.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So there has to be a
Not
court
because they said
order.
it's a threat, they would invade your privacy.
So under this condition, court order.
Yes.
Okay. Major social issues, development of an expectations of privacy and privacy norms. What do you think, for example, by default, any post you make on Facebook is public? And, for example, Google, their Gmail, they used to have by default, people can't know if the email you opened is opened by default. And then they decided to change this default. They made it by default, people can see if you have checked an email they sent you or not. What do you think of this?
It's like, what's up?
Do you see? Here, by default on WhatsApp, they tell you when you saw it and if you have received it or not, and how long it. And they take picture of you when you see it, so they get your.
It causes,
Do you see?
it causes problems, these things. You have read it and you ignored me and these things. Oh my god, it's horrible.
Major political issues, development of statutes, the government relations between record keepers and individuals. Now, what do you think? What should Google do to make sure that their employees do not take the information of customers and use them for their own advantage or sell them to other parties? Or
You have to monitor them.
do you see how liable are they?
They should be liable.
They should be liable, huh?
But in case someone like the information.
What happens if Google got some political activist and then they got the information from their email and they showed it to the public to ruin their reputation? Do you guys remember Hillary Clinton issue with the email she sent?
To who?
It took like 2-3 months. Everyone's talking about this Hillary Clinton and the email, Hillary Clinton and the email, and then she starts to justify why she did, why she did not, and what she meant and what she did not, and you see, becomes like an issue. This was like last year. She was. Information collected at e-commerce sites, data collected, personally identifiable information and anonymous information. So, to what extent did you take personal information? Then you have to remember, if you take people information, then what is the risk in case they're stolen? How bad your reputation will be? How will customers completely mistrust you? And maybe sometimes you decide that you don't want to take personal information. You just take their first name, and then maybe you outsource credit card information because you don't want to take people credit cards information. Types of data collected, these are bank, credit card, gender, occupation. Which one of these is the most dangerous information?
Credit accounts.
Credit cards account. Okay. What about transaction data?
Absolutely, yes.
Clickstream data, browser type. Social networks and privacy encourage sharing personal details. That's what social networks is all about. What's great about Facebook is that you can see what other people are saying. So it's more about privacy issues. It poses a unique challenge to maintaining privacy. Facebook, facial recognition. What do you think of this facial recognition? If someone put a picture, they can go and they will check and they will know where you are.
Yes.
And they know that in this location, on this date, you were there with these people. Do you see? So you need to be careful who you take pictures with, right? Because what happens if you take a picture and one of the people, they're associated with some criminal terrorist organization? Do you see? Then, Facebook will immediately identify you, and then and also they have this tagging idea.
Yeah, it's already tagging. If you
They immediately recognize you, and
tag
then
you.
and sometimes well, by default they will immediately tag you unless you change your privacy to make it do not tag me automatically, or let me decide. You see, personal control over personal information. Organizations' desire to monetize social networks. Of course, for Facebook, the more they tag people immediately, the more it is social experience, and the more they make money because people spend more time there. But on the other hand, they are, for people, they don't like that. What do you guys think? You apply for a job, and it's a great job. And then in the interview, they ask you, what's your username and password on Facebook?
Seriously.
And then they, part of the interview, if you say no, they tell you, okay, go. If you say yes, it means you don't have anything to hide. And then they check your Facebook to kind of get your personality, who you talk to, what you say, your private discussions, and
It's not a single way to do this. It's very
well, this is, some companies, they have done this. This become like a big issue. Because
you hack it and that's it. But then they ask me directly to do this.
well, they want to take your username and password. They go and they check what you say, what you don't do, who are your friends, and
Another fake name. Yes.
do
Yeah, I
what.
will give them a fake name.
But on the interview date,
I will do that.
you do that before.
In case.
Well, if you do that, that's another, But tomorrow they will add you as a friend, and then you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah, we can.
Mobile and location-based privacy issues. We talked about smartphones, apps, and they, information advertisers track, store user locations. 42% of users say privacy is a concern. Mobile Device Privacy Act not yet passed, and it requires information consumers about data collections. So here it talks about the privacy of where you are and where you go. Profiling. creation of a digital image that characterizes online individuals and groups' behavior. Would you guys? How many people think discrimination is bad? Yeah, discrimination is one way is you profile people. Basically, if you fit this profile, then they treat you, let's say, in a negative manner. You see. What about online profiling, where some databases or let's say Facebook, they start to see those people who are obnoxious, or maybe, or these people who say very negative things about other people, so they scare their users. These people, they start to do like social profile. They profile these people, and then they start to, if they want to add friends, they tell them no, you can't add friend. Yeah, it's true. This is what you do. Go try, create a new account, and go and add a lot of people. They will tell you, oh, stop, no more adding, because you need to. You see, they start to make certain things that does not, because they expect you're a fraud. You go to a group and you make a post, it will not show. The manager, they have to approve you. Have you seen those people?
Yes, this is normal for to approve it.
Well, no. Let's see. Some groups, you go, you make a post, it will take yours, it will take everyone's. But this person, if they make a post, it does not appear immediately
Because he's belonging to certain profile.
because this person is profiled as more of, troublemaker.
How do they know that I'm troublemaker?
They know your certain behavior.
Like,
For example, this is a new account, or maybe this person has, let's say, 100% ads, and only 2 people responded to their ad requests. This person, you see, they start to see what behavior of those people who are hackers, people who are, you create a new account, and you immediately go to add someone, and you want to add, and you join this specific group, and you say something. Why, you're coming from the street directly to this group. My friend, go. Your post doesn't appear, do you see? So advertising networks track consumers' browser behavior, dynamically adjust what users see on their screen, build refresh profiles of consumers. So those also advertising network, they start to, they see who you are, they know you, they know your purchasing power, and they start to, take advantage of your behavior. Remember, if you see someone who is, let's say, you can, someone have a lot of money, they, some salespeople, they catch these people, they make money out of them because of their, whatever personality they have. But now online, it goes on the masses, and it kind of track you, and they can easily make you fall into their traps. The Google AdWords program. Profiling, behavioral targeting, deep pocket inspection. They know how much money you have in the account. They know what products you buy. Business perspective, increased effectiveness, advertising, subsidizing free content, enabling sensing of demand for new products. And so this is another, issues. Now, will it be ethical? Will it be unethical at some point of time? Critical perspective, undermining expectations of anonymity and privacy. Consumers show significant opposition to unregulated collection of their personal data. What do you guys think of this website? They tell you, oh, we're sorry. We do not provide services for you because you're in this country, or because you have this type of profile, or because you are of this particular background. So the idea of eliminating services because of, some sort of a tracking, is it bad? The internet and government invasions of privacy. Various laws strengthen ability of law enforcement agencies to monitor internet users without knowledge and sometimes without judicial oversight. Here are some of the examples of those people, without even a court order, they will track you. Do you see? And some of these, even they do this like over the mobile phone. If you say there are like 3 words, if they happen to be in the same conversation, You know, they may start to record it, or they will, or it's already recorded, they will just, you know, put it on the top, so some human should be there to check it. What do you think? Is this bad? Now, do you remember last time you used the internet? How many people have you thought maybe someone is watching me now? Anyone have had this feeling? Well, you guys should have this by default. Everything you do, there's someone watching you. You need to be ready for this. You don't do anything wrong, so you don't care.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Government agencies are largest users of private sector commercial data brokers. See, government agencies, they watch all of this information. They retention by ISPs, search engines, user data. There's actually, if you go on the internet, you know, for example, Google, they report what government requests they ask them. And for example, some governments will tell them, hey, Google, we want you to tell us this person what their profile is. And then Google have to submit their, you know, as per. So this has been a big, another dilemma. You know, Google, they have to abide by laws, protect their customer information. Government, they want to track people who are terrorists, so they want to get this information from Google, and you know, we've got this invasion of privacy issue. Legal protection. In the United States, privacy rights explicitly granted or derived from the Constitution. First Amendment, freedom of speech and association. Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizure. And then 14th Amendment, that says due process. Specific statute, regulations, federal, state, common law. So these are like legal. What do you think in the Yemeni law? Do people privacy protected?
Don't know, we have laws.
Are there laws? Anyone have been through the Constitution?
Which one exactly?
The new one or the old one?
Just one.
What about in Sharia law?
Sharia.
Does Sharia law protect people's privacy or not? You see, that's another issue that's becoming now of a concern. Informed consent. Idea of an informed consent. U.S. firms can gather and redistribute transactions information without individuals' informed consent. This is considered to be illegal in Europe. So sometimes, you know, that's why this is, you know, you have to click on yes, I accept, which means yes, you are allowing the company to take your information, you understand the consequences, and you understand what they will do with it. Sometimes they have this, by law, you have to be able to opt out or opt in, maybe on a mailing list. Many U.S. e-commerce firms merely publish information practices as part of a privacy or use opt-in as default. Sometimes, you know, by default, if you go to a website, you register, they will opt-in you to a mailing list. And then they have to send you emails or, you know, related to the product that you bought. Or FTC's fair information practices used to base assessments and make recommendations, sometimes used as basis for law. Fair information practices notice, a choice, access, security, enforcement, restriction, collection. So these are like some of the newly coming practices, more guidelines, maybe not laws. We've got this new privacy framework, in the scope, privacy by design, simplified choices, greater transparency. What do you guys think? How do you evaluate? Is sometimes, you know, Facebook, they tell you, hey, we have changed our policy, and then they try to tell you what are the new changes.
Yes.
Do you understand them? Do you feel they are reasonable? Are they transparent? Do you feel they are too much information to the point people don't read them?
What
Uh,
happens when you try to assign something like you need to accept this certain
yeah, you need to accept them, otherwise you don't log in. So you just say accept and you go. Anyone have tried to read these terms and conditions?
I read, but there's so much, so I accept them.
So you just accept and go. Uh, do you scan it? Does it make sense to you?
So we know in both ways there is not privacy. So just click.
Yeah, you just click and go. Okay. So the idea of here, it says here, do not track mobile privacy data, brokers, large platform providers, development self-regulatory codes. European Data Protection Directive, European approach, privacy protection much stronger than it's in the US, comprehensive regulatory in the nature, European Commission Directive on Data Protection 98, standardized and broadens privacy protection in Europe Union. So if you're doing business in Europe, you want to watch out for their privacy issue. There are more. Depending on commerce, safer harbor programs, US firms that wish to comply with these directives. Proposed changes, rule applied to all companies provided services in Europe, greater user rights. So if we see more regulations to help people privacy on the internet. Privacy industry self-regulation, a safe harbor program, privacy meet objectives of governments, privacy seal program. You have seen this logo before? You know, on some websites to show you that we are, you know, industry association. We've got this. These are like organizations that try to help industry self-regulations, privacy advocates, emergency privacy protection. Anyone have been to reputation.com? Reputation.com, it's a website that tries to make sure that your privacy is protected. Kind of watch your reputation on the internet, and then if there's anything wrong, fix it. Alright, we're now on slide 24. We'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class.